Yo, what's up? Ricky Sanders here. If you live for fast cars, greasy hands, and solving problems under the hood, welcome to your new favourite spot. I'm all about real fixes, no BS, and showing you how to keep your ride running like a champ. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise in the garage. Enough talk. Let's get wrenching.
It is a known fact that the normal operation of the power unit of any car is ensured exclusively by the fuel-air mixture, freely circulating in the cylinders of the motor. If water enters the superpiston space of the combustion chamber from the external environment through the air filter, a breakdown occurs, called engine hydrostroke. This extremely unpleasant situation can eventually lead to the failure of the powertrain. What cause can cause the need for overhaul? Is there a way out of the situation with the least material losses? The following information will answer your questions. Causes of hydrostroke. Water, unlike air, is completely uncompressible. Therefore, the ingress of liquid into the working space of the cylinders negatively affects the operation of the power unit. Contact of the piston with an incompressible object, in this case represented by water, leads to a variety of malfunctions of the car engine, up to complete breakdown. It should be noted that such an unpleasantness occurs even with the appearance of liquid in the fuel-air mixture of one of the cylinders. Since the piston approaching the top dead center is not able to compress the unrepressible water, its movement is accompanied by the impact of the metal lever on the incompressible moisture. The deplorable result is unacceptable deformation of important functional parts of the internal combustion engine. The consequences of such a situation can be two options: bent by the exorbitant load connecting rod instantly breaks, punching a hole in the cylinder block. Experienced car mechanics call such a fault the hand of friendship shown by the engine. The same sad outcome, involving cylinder replacement, awaits a car that has traveled sometimes quite a considerable distance after a hydraulic shock. Of course, to save the engine from unforeseen overhaul is capable of relentless vigilance of the owner, who timely replaced the deformed parts. So, the established cause of hydraulic shock in the automobile engine is the appearance of liquid in the working space of the combustion chamber. Water penetrates into the cylinders from the external environment, freely bypassing the air duct. By what signs is hydrostroke determined? Based on the concept of what an engine hydrostroke is, the symptoms of this rather unpleasant phenomenon are determined. The presence of traces of water in at least one of the cylinders indicates a fait accompli. Experienced drivers are able to recognize the signs of hydrostroke by the following symptoms. Moisture found in the intake manifold is usually accompanied by a noticeable deformation of the duct filter element, a significant increase in the fouling streak in the cylinder, irregularity of carbon deposits, some scuffing on one side, oblique scuffing appears on the piston, excessive distortion, and inadmissible bending of the connecting rod. The cylinder head affected by hydrostroke has a thicker layer of carbon deposits than the other parts. Specific scuffing appears on the edges of the crankshaft connecting rod liners. It should be noted that the above signs can be combined. Detection of several symptoms at once is undeniable proof that the car suffered from engine hydrostroke, and what such an unpleasant event entails, this will tell the next section of the proposed publication. Consequences of liquid penetration into the working space of the cylinders of the automobile motor engine. Hydraulic shock is considered a serious enough malfunction. However, it does not cause significant troubles to the motor, working at idle speed. The only problem is that the car can suddenly stall. Usually in such a situation no serious damage is avoided. In the engine of a driving machine, significant faults are created as a result of hydraulic shock. This is due to the fact that the inertia of the movement creates incredibly high loads on the piston from the connecting rod damaged by contact with the fluid. Such a situation threatens the car with deformation and destruction of liners, malfunction of connecting rods and rings, and crankshaft failure. The most severe consequence of engine hydrostroke is waiting for the car at the reverse stroke of the piston. Particles of damaged parts may well lead to the destruction of the piston or the formation of a hole in the cylinder wall. Such a motor cannot be rebuilt, requiring a complete replacement. Slow movement of the vehicle reduces the sharpness of the impulse created by the hydraulic shock. This preserves the functional components from damage, affecting only the integrity of the connecting rod. It may be subject to deformation or simply bending. Minor bending reduces the operating length of the connecting rod, causing the piston to strike the crankshaft counterweights at its lowest point, and after a short time it collapses. The severely bent connecting rod, touching the cylinder wall, eventually jams inside the chamber. Procedure to be followed after an engine hydrostroke. If it is not possible to keep the engine free of fluid and the machine suddenly stops, do not attempt to restart it with the starter. With ignition off, it is recommended to check condition of air filter. The presence of water in it indicates a fait accompli hydraulic shock of the engine. To remove fluid from the cylinders, remove the spark plugs and forcibly turn the crankshaft with the handle. If water enters the engine crankcase, the lubricant must be replaced immediately. If it is not possible to dry the air filter, you should put a new one. Free rotation of the crankshaft indicates insufficiently serious deformation of the connecting rod. This allows you to avoid the unpleasant consequences of hydrostroke by removing the liquid through the fixation points of the spark plugs. From these holes, water under the action of the pistons leaves the combustion chamber. Next, it is necessary to dry the cylinders by blowing them with a pump through the same spark plug holes. After that, you can carefully try to start the engine. If the running engine does not emit extraneous sounds like knocking, the vehicle may be driven further. However, it does not hurt to carefully monitor the temperature, at the same time observing the oil pressure. If the slightest deviations from the norm are detected, stop the machine immediately by shutting down the engine affected by hydrostroke. Recommended measures to prevent hydraulic shock to ensure the safety of the air intake from liquid. First of all, the car should not be immersed in water deeper than the permissible level, i.e., up to the middle of the wheels at most. If there is a frequent need to overcome serious water obstacles, it is recommended to equip the car with a special device called a snorkel. In the absence of this device, in the case of water rising up to the hood, should immediately stop the car, turning off the engine. In addition, special attention should be paid to the proper condition of the rubber air ducts. The main functions of the snorkel, represented by a special two-channel pipe, are to supply air to the combustion chamber in parallel to the exhaust gas outlet. This vertically located device is designed to protect the air intake inlet from accidental penetration of liquid into the engine. It also protects the muffler outlet from water. The ability of the snorkel to perform its protective functions is provided by increasing the height of the above-mentioned parts. It should be noted that the air intake of the standard car is usually placed under the front fenders at a distance of 0.8-1 and 0 m from the ground. By the way, water is able to stifle the gasoline engine not only because of hydrostroke, but also due to the lack of spark formation in the spark plugs, caused by wetting the trampola. An ordinary compressor will help deal with unwanted moisture in the electrical system and in the engine compartment of the car. In conclusion, understanding engine hydrostroke is crucial for any car owner. By recognizing the signs and knowing how to respond effectively, you can minimize damage and protect your vehicle. Remember, prevention is key. Avoid driving through deep water and ensure your vehicle is well maintained. If you do encounter hydrostroke, act quickly and consult a professional to assess the situation. With the right knowledge and precautions, you can safeguard your car and keep it running smoothly for years to come. Thank you for watching, and stay informed to keep your vehicle in top condition.